This is Ron Kelleher with the Inspired Leadership Podcast, episode number 557. Today's episode is entitled 7 Biblical Leadership Insights for Christian Business Leaders.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Leadership, the podcast for Christian leaders in the marketplace who want to be the best leaders they can be. And now your host, Ron Kelleher.
In the throes of a high-stakes merger, Tom, a seasoned CEO of a top-tier company, found himself at a crossroads. Should he push forward with a lucrative deal with potential risks, or take a more conservative approach, putting long-term stability over short-term gain? As he grappled with this dilemma, he drew inspiration from the tale of Gedaliah in Jeremiah 40 through 41. This narrative, filled with betrayal and leadership challenges, offers essential guidance for Christian business leaders in today's complex world. For many, like Tom, the Bible isn't just a spiritual guide, it's a reservoir of timeless leadership principles. The story of Gedaliah stands out, brimming with insights for the discerning leader. So let's look into the story of our main character, Gedaliah. Well, after the Babylonian devastation of Jerusalem, the Babylonians appointed Gedaliah to govern the remnants of Judea. Gedaliah extended an olive branch to the scattered Judeans, promising protection and a fresh start. Yet, with his rising prominence came growing threats. Ishmael, from the Judean royal line, harbored sinister plans against Gedaliah. Loyalists warned Gedaliah about Ishmael's intentions, but he chose trust over caution, which tragically cost him his life. His story highlights the intricate dance between trust, discernment, and the moral quandaries leaders often face. Now, drawing from Gedaliah's tale, let's consider 7 profound leadership principles relevant to today's Christian business leaders. First, there's wisdom in counsel. Gedaliah received warnings from his loyalists about Ishmael's plans against him. Instead of taking their counsel seriously, he trusted Ishmael, which, as I said, cost him dearly. The necessity of seeking informed counsel is paramount. Astute leaders solicit advice, discern its credibility, and chart a course always under God's watchful gaze. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." Second, we need vigilance in leadership. Ishmael plotted against Gedaliah, fueled by ambition and possibly jealousy. Despite the impending dangers, Gedaliah's carelessness made him an easy target for betrayal. Leadership is frequently a difficult path. Keep an eye on those closest to you. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." Third, there's a cost to complacency. By overlooking the warnings about Ishmael's intentions, Gedaliah showcased complacency. This inaction, based on misplaced trust, eventually led to his assassination. Ignoring credible threats can spell catastrophe. Without actionable steps, hope can be a leader's Achilles heel. Revelation 3:15 and 16 tells us, "I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. Because you are lukewarm, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." And number 4, there's influence from personal ambitions. Ishmael's malicious plans against Gedaliah can be seen as a manifestation of his unchecked personal ambitions, possibly wanting power and control for himself. Recognize and temper unchecked ambitions, both in yourself and in others. It's critical for ensuring a smooth leadership journey. James 3:16 reminds us, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." And number 5, there are consequences of actions. The tragic assassination of Gedaliah and dozens of other Jews who were with him due to his decision to ignore warnings illustrates how one's actions, or lack thereof, can have profound and lasting consequences. Every choice leaves a ripple. Understand the profound impact of your decisions on the broader organization and its stakeholders. Paul in Galatians 6:7 reminds us, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that he will also reap." Number 6, reliance on God. While our text in the story of Gedaliah doesn't explicitly mention Gedaliah seeking God's guidance in his decisions, his eventual fate emphasizes the importance of divine wisdom in leadership choices. While human wisdom is important, God's unerring wisdom is the ultimate compass for a Christian leader. Proverbs 3:5 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding." And finally, number 7, the importance of leadership integrity. Gedaliah's open trust in others, including potential enemies, shows high integrity. However, balancing such trust with discernment was an aspect he missed, leading to dire consequences. Marrying trust with discernment crafts leaders of unmatched integrity, cultivating an atmosphere of transparency and trust. Titus 2:7 tells us, "In everything, set them an example by doing what is good." Well, in conclusion, Gedaliah's tale, rich in leadership lessons and fraught with moral complexities, isn't just historical lore. For the contemporary Christian business leaders like Tom, it's a clarion call to root leadership decisions in biblical wisdom. By interweaving these ancient guidelines into modern practices, we can ensure our businesses thrive and leave an indelible legacy of faith, inspired leadership for future leaders. Well, that's it for this week. And as always, questions and comments are welcome. Have you encountered a situation in your career when you had to make decisions based on difficult to verify information provided to you by others? I'd love it if you'd come over to the website at ronkelleher.com/episode 557 and leave me a question or a comment. And as always, before we go, I'd like to ask you to do me a quick favor, and that is to hop on over to whatever podcast service you're listening to this on. Leave a ranking for the show and a comment if you wish. It really does help us get the show into the hands of more and more people. So I thank you in advance for that and pray that God would help us all to be the powerful and the inspired leaders He intends us to be. That's it for this episode of Inspired Leadership. You'll find a complete transcript of this episode on my website at www.ronkelleher.com. My prayer now is that you'll go out and be the powerful, inspired leader that God intends us to be.
Thanks for listening to the Inspired Leadership Podcast at www.ronkelleher.com.